Hi crystal balls, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video today. If this is your first time here, welcome. Please think about sticking around, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. For everybody else, thank you so much for being on this journey with me, especially my Patreons. A quick reminder before we get started, I do have a second channel out, 838 LisaTebrinke. It will be linked in the description box. If you have not checked it out yet, please do so. So today we are going to be doing a reading about Cleopatra. Yes, that Cleopatra. And yeah, you can see my dog's leg. No matter what I do, she keeps scooting over here. So we're just going to have to deal with her cute little leg and her cute little tail because she's the best on the entire planet. And I know all of you have the best animals too. Definitely. We all have the best animals on the entire planet. I'm using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, which is the I think it's called, oh gosh, Illuminated. It's Party. So I'm using that deck, and we're going to talk about Cleopatra because A, I've been having dreams about her lately, but B, I've also I questioned the story of Cleopatra. I really do. It is just so much like a Greek tragedy that I don't know what is history and what is reality. So specifically, we're going to talk about her unaliving. So trigger warning, this is the story of Cleopatra, and the reported story is she unalived herself with an asp, which is a snake, a deadly snake. Oh, there's my Sunny. There's my Sunny. So I am purposely wondering, did Cleopatra actually unalive herself because she had a son to protect? And there was a lot of controversy and things that were going on, but she was also incredibly intelligent. And even though a lot of stories that have been told about her, such as her being in a rug and rolled up and carried across and yada yada yada, has been disproven in certain circles because of the impossibility of the situation, what has never changed is her unaliving herself. And for some reason, I never believed it. So today we're going to take a look and see. So I want to ask first. Well, we'll just ask and see what we come up with. We're just going to ask and see what we come up with here. What happened to Cleopatra? Did she unalive herself? Coming news. So again, if you are brand new here, I don't read tarot like a traditional tarot card reader. I read vibrations and what I think and what I pick up from the cards. So to me, this looks like upcoming news. Almost to me, she got the tip off the night before that something was going to happen. So someone was holding precious news in their hands, and the news was delivered to her at night. Like, this tells me it was the night before. So precious news could be many different things. Let's see. Stowaway in the night. Yeah, I think this is directly to do with her son because he was going to be a leader. I mean, this is getaway plans. I believe with what I'm seeing here that she was tipped off, but this specifically has to do with her son, that they stowed him away in the night, which I think is true, but I don't remember. But it looks like I got tipped off, messages came to you. You had 24 hours, we got you away in the night. But this is what is interesting to me. because I've always taken this as mother and child. So at the very least, the plan was for mother and child to stow away together. But if you look at this card, you can't see the individual that is right here. You don't know who they are. You don't know anything about them, but you can see that there's a child there. And this is um, somebody that looks like a male who is trying to get them out. This is where my questions come in. Was that even her there? Did she get away? Because I'm telling you, she would disappear and be completely fine if she was able to get out. So, that to me looks like what the plan was. Okay, so I don't want to fight. This is not a fight that is worth anything. Like, people are abandoning hope here, and I really believe that that happened to an extent where people literally just abandoned ship. Basically, they abandoned their post, they abandoned their duty because it was a lost cause. But it looks like to me that was a distraction almost, because somebody is still working incredibly hard for this whole plan to come together. Um, it looks like this is telling me this is the plan for the son, the Cleopatra's son, because there's a young vibe here. Um, but it looks like they would go back to Egypt, maybe? I don't know. Because they were okay. So I bit off more than I could chew. I can't fight what's in front of me and still be able to do the things that I need to do. So I do think there was a bump there. There was some sort of bump. But again, I feel like they got away. I feel like they stowed away. I feel like this was a distraction. They pretended to be beggars. They pretended to be something that they're not. So I'm not necessarily saying they went out and disguised themselves as slaves or beggars, but that's almost what it feels like in order to get to where they needed to go. Um, this is the story I'm getting. This is interesting. So it looks like their plan didn't necessarily work out, so they had to go to plan B, which to me is mercy and sneaking around and getting money, but also like we're pretending we're something we're not, but we're gonna keep the faith here. So to me, this looks like the second part of the plan didn't work out the way that it necessarily was supposed to. Um, but it kept it didn't mean that the plan was a failure, if that makes sense. This definitely was a nightmare. Okay, so Ace of Wands is one of the luckiest cards in the deck, followed up by the Nine of Swords and the Queen of Wands. So, looking at this, it tells me that luck was on their side, even though it was a nightmare. Like, I really feel like this is the way it's presenting itself to me. Lucky, goodness, gracious, prayers being answered, but in the middle, obviously, there is fretting, nightmares. If anything went wrong with their plan, they would all die. They would all die, and it would be horrific. It would be a very horrific, very public execution. Um, I still feel like she was in her power at that moment. very much making decisions that had nothing to do with unaliving herself. Um, I mean, of course, there's going to be fear. So, yes, it looks like this is the fear that surrounds. This is the thoughts and feelings. This is the thoughts and feelings that are surrounding the situation. So, yes, there is very much a realistic view of everybody that you know is going to stab you in the back to keep them safe, keep themselves safe, not you, because yeah, and this would definitely be like this is kind of a validation to the fears I'm seeing here. This would be a very public execution. And they would blame certain people and make examples out of them, and Cleopatra would have been one of them, but so would have her son. But here's the hope here is they would get away and be okay and have money and have family and be able to walk among the streets and be fine. It's almost like I'm hiding in plain sight. I am hiding in plain sight and I'm gonna walk away. So this is like the hopes, the fears, the nightmares, everything that was going along with that. I keep reshuffling my deck, so if we see repeats, that's why. So what happened? So did their plan go through? Were they able to hide? Were they able to actually get out? And Cleopatra and her son and their people actually able to get out? Wow. Okay. So this just keeps telling me like their plan didn't go the way it was supposed to. Somebody sold them out. The weird thing is, I think that person who sold them out did it in the name of religion, did it in the name of a church, and ended up becoming a hanged man, and he ended up getting executed anyway. So his betrayal was for nothing. I mean, that's really what I'm getting out of this. Like, it was evil, it was swift, but the person who they betrayed to, so the person that um who they spoke to, the person that they gave the knowledge to that Cleopatra and her son were fleeing, just turned around and executed him. So this was all for nothing. So there was information out there that they were trying to flee, and that person ended up dying for, you know, his trouble. It looked like he would have a lot of money, but that didn't happen. Oops. Gosh. Okay. So aces are usually very lucky, especially Ace of Cups and Ace of Pentacles. And this is abundance, power, happiness. I feel like there was a last ditch appeal made to somebody in power. The word I'm getting is king, but it wasn't a king. It was somebody in power, but they were not like head. So this would be somebody who may be in line to be king, or secession, or somebody in the council, somebody of power that you would plead your case to. So this wasn't actually a king, but he was like a I don't even know what they're called right now at this moment, but it was money that was given, but peace. The promise of peace was the main bargaining chip in this negotiation. And I do believe that they gave sacks of money to this person. Um, but it really feels like I'm gonna pardon you, kind of. So basically, I'm gonna look the other way, but I'm not going to stop anybody if they catch you. So that's what I'm feeling here is you have this itty bitty window to get out. But if anybody catches you guys, I have no knowledge of it. This is not on me. So they had they had an escape route. I mean, they paid off more than one person, but I think that was the one that was the big one. Okay. So looking at here, this is Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and the World. So honestly, I feel hope here. I feel a lot of hope. It looks like, we've paid off several people. We have safe passage. We have some sort of agreement happening here, and this is going to change the world. This is going to change the world for us. This is going to change the world of what's going on now. Basically, her only reason for living at this point and her only reason for being was her child. I'm only seeing one of her sons, so I am not sure what happened to the second, if it got, if he passed, if he was murdered, if he was held captive. I don't know for sure. I'm only seeing one son. And this to me looks like their opportunity was there and they took it. Let's see if it was successful. They went in the disguise of night. There was heartbreak because it may have been a foolish plan. So what I'm led to believe is Cleopatra did die, but not the way they described it. I feel that there was a betrayal, and it happened from several different people who said that they were on her side. And I do not believe that she unalived herself. It looks like she was murdered. So to me, the story is wrong. It lasted a few more days, and I think the reasoning for them saying this is it's to make an example out of her. It was to make an example out of her to show that they were the ones that were victorious, and she was, I don't know, like a coward. Like, they were definitely trying to change her reputation. The thing is, she could have gotten away if she would have left the moment they got the news. There was plans, there were too many people involved in these plans, but I don't believe that the woman who unalived herself was actually Cleopatra. I believe that event happened, but I think it was somebody else. But that doesn't mean Cleopatra lived. I think she lived maybe 2 or 3 days after this situation. She was captured and she was killed, and again, to me, it seems like the story was controlled as a narrative for a very specific reason, to make her seem weak, to make her seem like she had been a coward, and that isn't the case at all. She was trying to save her son's life, and unfortunately there were too many backstabbers, and too many people who were concerned about their own money. So while I, through this reading, believe that Cleopatra was not, did not die the way that she did die, like approximately 2 to 3 days later. And as far as what happened to her son, I don't know. I don't think it's true in history. Whatever happened, I almost feel like he was let go or given to somebody else to raise without any of the lineage that he had. But I feel like he just wasn't in the picture anymore. And it's a possibility that he was killed too. I don't know. I am literally getting a blank here. But I think that's really what happened to Cleopatra. She didn't unalive herself. She, yes, she was upset about her love dying, but and this was a very dire situation for her. She wasn't going to make it out alive if she stayed there. But Cleopatra was a fighter and a survivor, and I cannot see her just bowing and cowering in a corner and unaliving herself, even though that is or was a thing in that time. I think she would have done something. She was, like I said, incredibly intelligent, and she was a mother, and she was a fighter, and she wasn't going to allow horrible things to happen to her child. So, of course, she would put in a last ditch effort, even if that last ditch effort was fruitless. It was something she had to try. All right, guys, let me know what you think down in the comment sections. Do you agree with history? Do you agree with the story of Cleopatra unaliving herself? Do you think it's a little hyperbolic, or do you think that's exactly what happened? Do you think there's a possibility that something else happened with Cleopatra? Let me know, please, down in the comment sections. And thank you guys again so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will be having another JonBenet Ramsey video coming up in the near future, so please look for that. All right, guys, you have a great day or night wherever you are in this world. Remember, every single day is a gift. Use your time wisely. I'll see you in your next one. Bye for now.